This is going to be my closing note on the subject of modern relationships and modern society and some of the things that I've experienced. And one of the things I want to say is that, again, there are no rules other than mutual respect, mutual honesty, are a must. But beyond that, pretty much you define you. Just like each one of us defines who we are in our own spirits, we also define our relationships. One word of advice that I would personally give is that the best way to meet someone who is compatible to you is doing the things that you do, that you love to do. Just being yourself. You will meet other people out there being themselves, doing the things that you love to do, and strike up conversations. Get to know other people who love and appreciate the things that you love and appreciate. And you're bound to meet someone who works with you, that flows with you. It's when you're trying to be something that you're not, or to be this image or ideology that of who you think you're supposed to be because that's what society told you, or that's what someone else is, your parents, your friends, your previous ex who you lost, so now you regret it, so now you want to turn into someone that they wanted you to be. Just be you. We can all be cheap imitations of someone else. We can all become fake individuals trying to be what some society or some group tells us we should be. However, no one can be you. No one can do you the way you can. No one can share your experiences and grow from them and blossom and bloom and captivate the world the way that you can. Everybody isn't made to be famous. Everybody isn't made to be the most beautiful, the most handsome. Everyone isn't designed to be the smartest. We're all designed to be unique individuals, all pieces of a puzzle. If all the puzzle pieces were the same, it would be the world's worst puzzle. For one, nothing would fit anywhere, not a single piece. You have to have the variety. Variety of life is the spice of life. That's what makes the world interesting and awesome. Again, we live in a society that spends all its time feeding us a load of crap, trying to turn us into automatons and robots and slaves to societal pressures, slaves to corporate greed, mindless drones that have no personality, just follow orders, no individuality. I, for one, have never cared for that. I've always been the kind of person where I want to be the complete opposite. If everybody is wearing a certain fashion, you will never catch me in it. I'll design something else. I design what feels good on my body and what fits and looks good according to my shape. Screw everything else. When there are fads and fashions with people's houses and decorating their homes and who's got this and trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's kind of a joke because the Joneses actually are my family. The Joneses of New York, but we won't even get into that. But all the hoity-toity comparing yourself to other people. The only person I've ever compared myself to is me. To keep trying to be better, to grow further, to be more than I was yesterday, last week, last month, last year. That's the only person anyone should compare themselves to is themselves. You want to evolve. You want to continue to grow. You want to continue to experience new things. You want to keep your sense of awe and wonder. You want to, no matter how old you are, still have adventures. They might have to vary in the type of adventures they are, just because you physically can't do the things you used to do when you were younger, some of us. But life should still be a surprise, a awe-inspiring event until the last day you're here on this earth. It should be literally, I take it very literally, that each day you're supposed to learn something new. And quite often I learn a lot more than just one or two things new. I decided to find out how many days from the day I was born to the date that I put the information into the chat box. How many days have I been alive? And it was like 2 million something days. And so if you literally learn something new every day, then I have well over 2 million lessons that I've learned. And considering that I learn multiple things a day, it's safe to say that I have over 10 million things that I have learned in the course of my life, and I'm still learning and growing. A lot of times people say things to me like, well, how do you know the things you know? Because I'm always learning and I'm always growing. And they'll say, well, nobody can do all the things you say that you can do. Yeah, I can. Because I'm always learning and I'm always growing. And in the process of learning and growing, you learn how to do things. It's not hard. It's the people who are stagnant, who do the same job, the same things, the same routine, eat the same foods day in, day out, that stifle their own growth. Break the routine. Do something different. Every day, try to do something that you haven't done before or is out of your normal routine. I love routines because of the level of productivity you can accomplish. I can do more by 10 o'clock than most people do their entire week when I'm on a healthy routine. And it also not only helps me to squeeze more in the course of a day, but it gives me accountability in terms of where I can actually mark what I've accomplished this week, that week, the next week, and continue forward. However, there's a big downside to that. People lose their spontaneity. People lose just going with the flow, and again, their awe and sense of wondering and just being, or just being still and let God reveal and open up and show you things and take you places that you thought you'd never go, introduce you to people you thought you'd never meet. You can't do those things when you're so stuck to a routine that you don't give yourself room for change. Or if one thing is off, and I've been guilty of this, oh my gosh, it throws your whole routine off. If something happens in the morning and you don't do the morning part, then your whole day is kind of thrown off balance. Excuse me. And off sequence. It's past my bedtime. And so you have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be comfortable with you. You have to be comfortable with how you function and how you flow. You and you alone. Without all the noise Shut off all the noise. There's so much noise. There's so much propaganda. There's so much everybody telling you what to do, what you should feel. Television. I want you to start paying attention to how you act and react to situations and circumstances in your life. And then pause again and think, where did you see that? Where did you learn that behavior from? 80%, if not more of the time, it's going to be something you saw on television. The human mind, the psyche, does not have the ability to discern false TV, movies, and things from real life. We were designed to learn by watching our parents and other people, by what we see and what we experience. Our psyche does not distinguish between watching a movie and real experiences. It does not, our subconscious. So you can traumatize yourself by watching a whole bunch of negativity and violent movies and things like that. You can actually give yourself real trauma. You can program yourself to think a certain way and behave a certain way. Most televisions in this day and time raise children more than their parents do. It has more input in their psyche than their parents. And unfortunately, their parents were raised the same way. And so you have a society that is built on creating consumers for the sole purpose of enslaving the public for their own financial gain. And so many people are trapped in this, what I consider a circular mindset, like a hamster on a wheel, round and round and round doing the same things. And they don't even realize that they've been programmed, that they're a captive audience, that they are captivated, they are captives, and they don't have the ability to think outside the box. If I get off this wheel and actually walk the same distance I've been running on this wheel, where will I go? Where will I end up? What will I see? One of the fun things my mom used to do with us as kids, and I grew up and did it with my children, she would take a map and basically we would throw darts at it, or she would put push pins in it. And those were places that she always wanted to go and see and check out. The dart one was wherever it landed, we had to take a trip to that place and see what's there and learn about the place. And that was always fun. We always had the best adventures. The one where she would make a list of all the places she dreamed of going, or things that she dreamed of doing, so that she can, one by one, mark them off her list. Even if you find out it's something that you don't enjoy or don't even like, that's okay. You tried it. And where does that fall into play when it comes to relationships with people? You want someone who's going to challenge you, someone who's going to help you to keep growing and encourage you to grow, and you encourage them to grow. You want someone that you can bring out the best in and they can bring out the best in you. A mutual, very reciprocal. Versus you're both stagnant. You're both locked into the same treadmill, same trap, same wheel. My spirit is not rebellious because I'm very disciplined, very organized by nature, and very obedient by nature to some extent. But it's very free. I grew up with the freedom to explore with parents who both were adventurers and explorers, who wants to see what's on the other side and what the next horizon is, and climb the mountain just to see what's on the other side, and go hiking and take adventures. We would drive cross country every year and stop in every state that we would drive through and have a blast. And again, because of my father's involvement with the military, long after he was no longer in the military, contracting and working with, like I said, at Cape Canaveral, NASA over there with the space shuttles and all that, and many other contracts, we were constantly moving, and we were always the new kid on the block, the new kid in town, etc., etc. But we were always meeting new people and having new adventures and seeing new sights. There are so many worlds within this world that we live in that most people never even see. Many members of my family have lived within the same 10 miles their entire lives. Many members of my family have never gotten on a plane in their life. I can't imagine that because I was raised different. There's so much to see and so much to do. How could you just stay in one place? But that's where we differ. So when you're picking someone that you want to be with, if you don't have a sense of adventure, even though you may admire those qualities in someone else, if you really self-reflect and go, that all sounds good, but nah, I'd rather not, then don't pick someone who has that desire in their heart, even if it's something that you admire in them, because you're going to stifle them. Look at when you're looking for someone, and personally, again, it's not a good idea to look. Place yourself in positions where the opportunities to meet people, like-minded people, are. But don't actually go looking. Because again, you won't find what you're looking for. Or worse, you might find exactly what you were looking for. But what you were looking for may not be what you needed or what you really want. You might think you want it and then find out, no, this wasn't a good idea. I've done that. And so has many people. Do the things you love. Expand your horizons. Find more things that you love.